you want me to start from the beginning and just go back to Schoology, Maya?
Uh, I mean, maybe if you could just go back to the source, I feel like when you were kind of going through the grades and then just showing the stuff that was hard for you to find initially.
All right, so here we are in the source. You're seeing my screen okay?
Yeah.
I have two kids, Dashiell and Hatch. I can toggle back and forth between them. Looks like Hatch is doing okay, except for the C in Northwest Geology. If I click on the letter C, I can see what the actual breakdown is. This should be easier for me to figure out. There are two missing assignments here on maps, which are -5 points. And it looks like there was a quiz or in-class work here where they got 1 out of 5. They're getting an E on 2 assignments and an A on others, which for some reason balances out to a C. I now need to go talk to my kid and say, why did you get a 1 out of 5 on this in-class work? And why are these things not turned in? And there's a key down here at the bottom if I wanted to figure out what those little icons were, how they're weighted, if it has a comment. But even though I've been using this for 3 or 4 years, I'm already at a frustration point that I don't want to learn anymore how to learn the system.
Sure. Can you explain if you even know what the flags means? Is this just like all of these icons down here will populate depending on which flag it is?
Yeah, late, missing, exempt from the final grade, absent. I can read them, but I wouldn't understand them at first glance.
Okay. And then if you could just go through the school pay section.
There are 2 ways to pay fines here. One is books, fines, and fees. I'll click on this for a moment. And I find out that I owe $107 for a missing geology book, or perhaps it's a book that my kid has purchased, but I have to pay it either way. But if I go to school pay, this jumps me to a different URL, which is currently not working. This is where we pay for external things like field trips and t-shirts and yearbooks. Oh, now it's working. I'm getting a modal pop-up. Oh, look, here is the actual sync. They are actually synced. Here's that $107 that I owe. These are different things that have happened in the past. I'm not sure why they're still there. These are payments I've made. And then I can go to an add to cart process and have a checkout, as you would expect in a normal e-commerce flow.
Do you ever, or how often are you using school pay?
I would say once or twice a year.
What kind of like, I see that there's like a lot of different options here. Is it often easy for you to find what you're looking for?
It is. I would not begin to know where to look to find what I'm looking for. I would usually only come here if I was told that I need to go. I would get an email message or something that says you need to go pay a fee for the upcoming field trip.
Okay, and that populates at the top here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this was a field trip in November of 19.
Mm-hmm. When you like go through this payment system, do you have any like roadblocks that you hit?
I don't think so. If I felt like paying for this geography book right now, I think I'm going to go to a straight continue with item cart. I'm actually so.
It says it's not available, or the previous one did. For whatever reason.
Back to shopping, so I must have forgotten to check something on my way out. I should have checked that first. Add selected to cart. And then I will go to billing. And this will probably ask for my credit card details. Yeah. Okay. Although even this is not exactly, not a familiar interface in terms of how we got here. I can figure it out, but I can see how other people might have a hard time with this.
Was that a drop down?
It was a drop down to enable the credit card window.
Does it go back up? I see. Interesting.
It does not.
Ah.
But if I refresh, you can see that I can go to billing. And then here, this was indeed a drop down.
Interesting move.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there was one, so other than these things, I actually didn't get to see anything from Clever because the previous participant was not able to sign in.
Here are a couple of other things. I can go to the school information. I can go to grade history and assessments. This is mostly just data. To get to Clever, I have to go back to Seattle Schools homepage.
And do you use Clever often? If so, what for?
My kids are now old enough that they can figure out how to get the things that they want. So my son will just log in. Oh, this is really funny, actually. Let's see if it remembers his password.
Is this just for students mostly, or?
Yeah, this is just for students.
Okay.
So different teachers can create their own pages where they can curate stuff for kids. Here are tools that we will use on a regular basis, such as Typing Club or Office 365, the library catalog. So this is kind of like an app store or like a directory of apps that these are many external resources that a teacher can choose to assign one of these if necessary, but not everybody's using it and not. So let's see what Mr. House is doing. Mr. House is the history teacher, and he added something called Nearpod, which is probably like for listening to podcasts, I'm guessing. Yeah, interactive videos. So, and then I would have, so this has really just been a link to another site if I want to log into this site.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere my son also has, he goes to a different portal for math. That would be Ms. Bazane. But she doesn't have a link to it, but I know that my son goes to something called Flourish. There we go. Flourish KH. And here is an algebra site. So it gets really fractured. Any instructor can use anything in Clever to take kids to external resources, which is good because it teaches kids how to use the web, but is also really distributed.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And this just gives, it looks like this gives access to apps that aren't usually like just free for the public.
Correct.
Just gives them access because they have affiliation with these apps.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay.
And then there's also one other dimension to this. If I go to home, where is it? Office 365. So this is kind of good. So the kids are using how to use, they've got all your whole suite of MS Office apps. So this is actually really nicely done. So my son is learning PowerPoint and Word, and here's all his docs. You guys have probably seen this in your own adult lives.
Yeah, I mean, I have this for central stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So this actually works really well.
Let's see, do you by chance use the bus system that's provided?
Yes, my son takes the bus every day.
Okay, and then how does that whole experience work for you?
So we were mailed a piece of paper that said, here's the number of the bus, here's the intersection that he gets picked up on, and the time that he has to be there.
Mm-hmm. And that's your only way of knowing it. So like you guys have no ability to know if the bus will be late or not.
That is correct. We have no way to know if the bus will be late.
Okay.
In the past, we've received robocalls, usually about a half hour after the bus is supposed to be there, that says your bus is running late, which isn't very useful.
Nice timing. Cool. Let's see.
And in the past, the bus is so often late in the first week of school that we just drive the kids for the first week.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any questions, Tristan?
I think you've covered mainly everything. One of my biggest questions that I saw, I think was running into the source or Schoology, you clicked on a thing on the calendar, and then it had a button for support. And I was just curious if you've ever used like the support function for either of these sites.
Let's see if we can find that again.
I think it was, yeah, it was.
Do you remember seeing that? I think maybe it was on a
Oh yeah,
homepage.
the support request.
So like this new support request,
I was just curious as to what that.
I have never clicked on this. So let's, so we're assuming this is, assuming they're asking this for a kid, they probably don't want my birth year. So let's just try to add my son's birth year. Here, I need help with typing. So it goes into an FAQ, like so many dark channels of the internet that I'm not supposed to figure out how to solve my problem.
So not very helpful.
Not very helpful.
Okay.
I'm kind of confused what help
Yeah,
this is
I
giving.
don't know what support I was getting here.
yeah, that's what I was confused with when I saw that. I was like, what exactly is this support thing asking for? So that actually is helpful though for me.
So let me go back to support home.
Oh, they
It's
have a
like
chat.
all kinds of support for all kinds
Yeah.
of people.
They got a robo chat at the bottom, whatever you call
Yeah.
it. What's the name of that?
RoboChat is a good thing to call it. Yeah, I'm here to help. Click here to start a chat.
It's a robot.
Virtual assistant, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of messages too. Well, okay.
So rather than making, so this is a nice touch, actually. This is new. I
Yeah.
haven't seen this before. My Hatch wants to leave or remove a course. Great.
Oh,
I am a parent. This is pretty good. So this is going down a decision tree and just saying, based on your keyword, let me give you a series of instructions. And it's at least is giving me step by step. So I'm going to give this a B plus and say not bad.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm supposed to keep my user hat on.
No, it's fine. It's easier to like use that than the actual support button thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the half and half hat though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Nice to know what you think as a teacher going through this as well, because
I can never really take the professor hat off.
all right. Yeah, tell us all the secrets. We need to know them all. Cool. Well, I feel like that's covered most of the questions that I have for now, at least in this phase.
You guys at least have enough to make your plan for today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did we think we're done with our project
Yeah.
plan?
Yeah.
We sent it out?
Yeah, I have kind of like a rough like estimate of like where we'll be in each week,
Yeah.
but I don't have any like specific details, and I was wondering if that's like a good show of like what's due each week.
Use your best guess. I think things will change as you understand what you want to build more.
Right.
It's okay if your deliverables shift a little bit as you go.
Okay.
Just do your best guess about what you think you can build in the time that we have, and I'll go over this on the first day of class. But based on what we've learned, we realize that we need to build out a more robust feature, which will take more time, and we will now deliver this in week 5.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, you'll be writing something like that, which is fine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Currently, I just have like a week by week. It's like, this is week 0. We're doing project prep. Then
Yeah.
we do research, design system, lo-fi, hi-fi, prototype and test, finished product, so on. And then I guess I'll just send that to you with we have like our North Star statement written, then the schedule,
Mhm,
and then
exactly.
team members' names, and that's all we need to send for
Yeah. Who's your third person?
Daria. She's currently in Russia, so she won't be back on the first day of school.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Opposite schedule for her right now.